The stillness in my home was laden with unspoken words. It wrapped around every corner, creating an almost palpable tension. For 3 lingering months, the rent has remained in the shadows, untouched and unspoken. My decisions have slipped away into the shadows. Then came a knock from Mr. Lincoln, my landlord, a man whose gaze lingered with an unsettling intensity, igniting a slow burn of tension that made my skin prickle with a sense of unease. He sought not merely to fulfill his duties, but to present an irresistible allure that lingered in the shadows. A soft murmur of desire hung in the air, shrouded in an irresistible charm beckoning me to yield. Yet desperation, that sly weaver of fate, softly spun a tale of contradiction. I confronted it directly. The unexpected knock on the door sent a shiver through me. My tattered garments, a fragile shield against the tempests of existence, seemed woefully inadequate as I held them with fervent longing. I extended the invitation to him within the confines of our secluded sanctuary. Mr. Lincoln's gaze lingered with a sultry intensity, each glance a profound journey into the depths of hidden truths. "Luna," he breathed, his voice a soft caress, yet sharp as the frost of a long winter. "You wander like shadows beneath the darkened sky." I drew the robe tighter around me, yet it offered little comfort against the encroaching chill. "Dearest Sir Mr. Lincoln, I beseech you, grant me but a fleeting moment more." He entered without permission, and the close quarters wrapped around him, thickening the air with unvoiced longings. "Oh, how tragic it is," he murmured, his eyes locked onto hers, "to witness a woman of your grace ensnared in such distress." His voice, soft and enticing, wove a spell of allure, while subtly revealing a hidden fragility beneath its charm. A heated caress brushed against my skin. "I will weave a plan with careful precision." He exhaled softly, a measured display of unspoken discontent. Time, that seductive companion, only deepens the cravings that linger unfulfilled. In the shadows of my weary journey, I have wandered through every hidden passage, laboring through countless moments, longing for the tender touch of understanding from those around me, while wrestling with the painful farewell to beloved yet scarce treasures. Nothing has ever truly satisfied the yearning within. In hushed tones, I implored, as the conflict dissolved into lingering echoes, yet I craved just one more heartbeat, I entreated. He gazed at me, a glimmer of something enigmatic dancing in his eyes. Or perhaps there exists a hidden path to uncover solace. A tumult of unease twisted within me. The muted fears once shrouded in shadows now stand exposed for all to see. "Pray, what hidden truths dost thou long to reveal, O dear Luna?" he murmured with a gentle reproach. "Thou art a woman of profound understanding, cloaked in the shadows of desire." The air thickened with a sultry tension, the soft material of my clothing clinging to my skin, providing scant relief from the encroaching warmth. "This is ours alone." He breathed, his words laced with a soft urgency, drawing her closer into the shadows of their shared secret. "This will stay nestled within the confines of our closeness." My heart fluttered with a quiet intensity, like a delicate creature yearning to break free from its confines. His smile was a tantalizing invitation, a mischievous twist that hinted at the delight he found in the turmoil reflected in my eyes. "With a subtle twist of destiny's hand, I hold the power to dissolve your burdens into the shadows." A sigh, thick with unspoken desires, escaped my mouth. There were no other paths to explore, no hidden chances to grasp, just him with the heavy promise he unveiled to her. With a languid, seductive cadence, I bestowed upon the atmosphere a solitary, yearning acknowledgement laden with hidden longings. His smile deepened, a subtle glimmer of victory dancing in his gaze. His fingers brushed against the fabric, not for any anticipated prize, but to caress the fragile ribbon that adorned my garment. A choice so astute, my dear. Mr. Lincoln guided me into the room, his hold on my arm both steady and gentle, a silent promise hanging in the air. The atmosphere within was heavy, brimming with a silent, seductive tension. His cologne, a scent both daring and masculine, mingled with an undercurrent of something raw and captivating, enveloping me in a heady embrace that ignited my senses with a smoldering intensity. He moved with a deliberate urgency. As he lingered at the edge of the bed, he slowly loosened his belt, the gentle sound of the metal buckle shattering the heavy stillness that enveloped the room. My dear Luna, I know you feel the weight of unspoken desires and the shadows of unfaithfulness that linger in the air. An unsettling heaviness lingered deep in my throat. With a heart burdened by unspoken truths, my fingers curled into resolute fists at my sides. His lips curled in a way that suggested a deeper unspoken connection lingering beneath the surface. There is no cause for such astonishment, my dear Luna. A vow shared in hushed tones will forever linger. A seductive warmth began to unfurl within me, stirring a longing that felt both thrilling and dangerous. With a heavy heart, I felt an irresistible pull, ensnared in a captivating spell, and I lowered myself to my knees. His fingers wove through my hair as I drew nearer, wrapped in his heat and fragrance, a tempest of feelings stirring deep inside me. With a tentative grace, I let my lips brush against his, a moment charged with unspoken tension. He exhaled deeply, his fingers tangling in my hair, a gentle yet authoritative force. The soft murmurs he uttered ignited a tantalizing thrill that coursed through every inch of me. Though I ought to dismiss these feelings, the seductive chaos inside me has captured my heart, and yet I find myself unable to escape its allure. His breath deepened, and his stance radiated a simmering tension. He found himself ensnared in a fleeting instant, enveloped in the essence of my soul. A seductive and ephemeral grasp of power danced amidst the turmoil of my own uncertainty. As I unearthed a troubling cadence, he suddenly withdrew. His breath labored his composure, visibly fraying. He struggled to contain the fervent yearnings that consumed him. He beckoned her to stand, his voice heavy with a deep and fervent longing. I surrendered, rising and arranging myself on the bed, my robe cascading open entirely as I enveloped him. His hands caressed my thighs with a deliberate slowness, tracing the contours of my skin, as if he sought to etch every delicate curve into his very soul. In that moment, his voice dripped with seduction, his gaze igniting a fire within me that I couldn't escape. I drew nearer, attuning myself to the electric pull between us. A soft sigh, laden with unspoken desire, slipped from my lips as I edged nearer to him. He revealed his desire, his hands clutching my waist with a fervent intensity. Your presence stirs a desire that transcends every dream I've ever had. I struggled to suppress the intoxicating warmth that unfurled within me at his utterance. This was just a transaction devoid of any deeper connection. As I started to shift, an irresistible tide of ecstasy coursed through my reluctant form. My own body conspired in silence, stirring a fervor that engulfed my heart with a blend of yearning and trepidation. I bit my lip, fighting to maintain an expression of cool detachment, yet within a seductive warmth, twisted and unraveled with each gentle caress. "Continue, dear Luna," he urged, his voice heavy with unspoken desires. "Hold me close, igniting a fire that speaks of unspoken desires." His hold was steady, drawing me further into the shadows of desire. I obeyed his command, hastening my steps, my breath turning shallow and erratic. Each subtle movement ignited a thrilling sensation deep inside, blurring the lines of pretense as I surrendered to the intensity of the experience. With a sly grin, he gazed at me as if he could pierce the veil of the carefully crafted illusion I had built around myself. "Do you not feel the thrill in this, my love?" he murmured softly. Alas, I was not honest, my breath revealing my haste as I moved forward. His grip tightened our bodies, moving together in a slow, heated rhythm, the air thick with unspoken desires. The connection between us growing heavier, more charged with each passing moment. With my jaw clenched tight, I struggled to stifle any sound that might reveal the concealed longings bubbling beneath the surface. He beckoned me closer, his bravado faltering, his gaze fixed on me, drinking in each subtle shift, each silent response. With a delicate hold, I traced my fingers across his chest, savoring the slow burn of desire that simmered beneath the surface, poised to unleash a wave of intoxicating bliss. His breath caught in his throat, his body quivering beneath my touch. And then, with a final trembling sigh, his hands enveloped me firmly as he surrendered to the moment. With a fleeting pause, I stepped into the unknown, my body quivering from the unanticipated desire that wrapped around me. Yet I hushed my sighs, shrouding my emotions in enigma. As I yielded to him, my body still resonating with the echoes of pleasure. In that hushed moment, we lay entwined, our breaths mingling, our skin shimmering with a shared heat. With a careful grace, I slipped from his embrace, positioning myself on the brink of the bed. In a quiet embrace, I remained as silence held the weight of unvoiced truths. Yet nestled in the shadowy recesses of my heart, the truth lingered soft and unspoken. In the shadows of reason, I found delight in each fleeting moment. Indeed, he had, without a doubt. At the threshold of my refuge, I tightened my veil, yet it provided scant protection for the truths that lay exposed beneath. My skin hums with a lingering warmth. My breath dances in a hesitant rhythm. My eyes sensed his gaze, a soft caress that lingered poised in anticipation for the ideal moment to unfold. Thou hast ensnared my heart, beguiling Luna. His voice once more caressed the air, laced with a tantalizing allure. Thou hast ensnared me with thy unexpected delight, for I did not foresee thee surrendering to such indulgence. A smoldering yearning ignites within the depths of my being. I decided to turn a blind eye to it. It was merely a soft exchange, I murmured, with a hint of longing. He released a gentle teasing chuckle. Truly, if that is the truth you desire. Ah, a soft veil surrounded us, heavy with hidden longings. Even amidst the weight of what should have been suffocating shame, I remained untouched by such feelings. Not completely so. A fragment of my soul undeniably savored that moment, far deeper than I dared to acknowledge. I present to you a tantalizing offer, he murmured softly. My eyes lingered on him, filled with a deep yearning. What are you trying to convey? He reclined against the headboard, his shirt loosely undone, his expression a tantalizing enigma, wrapped in allure. You found pleasure in this hidden moment. Ah, yes, I am aware of your actions. Indeed, there are those with exquisite cravings, eager to trade their wealth for the presence of a woman such as yourself. I felt a sudden tension within me. Thou art but a playful spirit, I implore thee. Please, I implore you. His gaze caressed me, filled with a smoldering intrigue that hinted at unspoken desires. Even as you proclaimed your choices to be unchangeable, the shadows of possibility linger waiting to be explored. This talent could blossom into an endeavor that yields profound treasures. My breath lingered heavy and unsteady. Indeed, that truly stands alone in its allure. This was nothing more than a fleeting moment. I paused, enveloped in silence. What are you trying to say? His smirk deepened, a shadowed grin that suggested hidden desires and the allure of unspoken truths waiting to be uncovered. Pray, do you seek but a subtle request just for the intoxicating allure of it? I turned my gaze away, my thoughts tangled in unvoiced yearnings. Perhaps a sense of unease should have stirred within me, yet I unearthed my folly, for truly he held the truth. I found a peculiar pleasure in the experience. And so the thought of immersing myself once more in this tantalizing journey of being desired, of seizing the reins, of conjuring something exquisite from the void, no longer seemed like an insurmountable endeavor. The choice, my cherished confidant, rests entirely with you. He proclaimed, his posture unwavering as he adjusted his garments with careful intent. Your consent is not a requirement. If you choose to surrender to the temptation, I am aware of two distinguished gentlemen who would eagerly offer a considerable sum for merely a single evening in your company. A tantalizing thrill coursed through my very being. Not merely one, but a pair, undeniably so. Each heartbeat felt heavy, a tantalizing struggle that lingered in the air. What was meant to be a simple refusal became a tangled web of complexities. What sum do you crave? His smile deepened with a tantalizing allure. More than what you have collected in a single evening over the span of your existence. I exhaled slowly, my heart pounding with an intoxicating urgency. On a sultry night, two gentlemen found themselves entwined in a delicate dance of desire, a decision that could alter the very fabric of existence. I raised my chin slightly, a subtle acknowledgement passing between us. Indeed, Mr. Lincoln extends his hand into the shadows of his connections. Remarkable craftsmanship, esteemed enchantress. I shall summon the murmurs of destiny. The evening loomed, and I found myself before the mirror, fine-tuning a gown that embraced my form perfectly. It embraced her form with a daring neckline, teasingly hinting at the mysteries hidden beneath. Mr. Lincoln selected it with care, the heels accentuating my legs in a way that felt both familiar and intoxicating. Behold, I barely recognized the captivating figure before me, her gaze piercing through the air with an intensity that stirred something deep within. My hands trembled with a delicate anticipation as I styled my hair. What ignites this tremor deep within my soul? I have chosen my path, and my determination is unwavering. From this moment, there is no retreat. You are a vision of allure, murmured Mr. Lincoln from the threshold. His gaze lingered on my form, a tantalizing exploration filled with a deep, simmering desire. They will hold you close, their affection wrapped in layers of unspoken desires. I found it difficult to breathe, letting out a quiet sigh through my nostrils. Pray, who might they be? Ah, good sirs. He wore a sly grin, brimming with tantalizing mysteries. Unspoken desires. Bid them a tender goodbye, dear Luna. And from this instant forward, the burden of rent shall fade into the shadows. A gentle tap at the door. A soft gasp escaped my lips. Gaze upon their arrival. Mr. Lincoln's smirk deepened, a tantalizing glimmer of mischief dancing in his eyes. The time has arrived, my dearest. With a heart pounding in the stillness, I directed my eyes to the door, my fingers inching toward the handle, trembling with anticipation. And so I unveiled the truth. Two men lingered in the dim light, their gazes heavy with unspoken desires, their faces shrouded in a tantalizing mystery. And they came here to indulge my desires. With a racing heart, I guided them into the room, each step heavy with the weight of hidden longings. My heels softly echoed against the floor, the atmosphere heavy with an alluring tension that hung in the air. With a tantalizing slowness, they drew near, their forms, wrapping around me. Two gazes locked onto mine, two admirers whose focus was solely on my every breath. I surrendered to this delicate pact. A fragment of my soul in a tantalizing way yearned for this. Yet deep within my heart, there simmered a tempest, a hushed doubt, and an ember of desire. The figure of undeniable strength, with a presence that demanded attention, was the first to extend a hand toward me. His hand lingered on my waist, a blend of strength and intention. His fingertips gliding softly, as if to etch every curve into the depths of his mind. The other, more slender figure, with eyes sharp and penetrating, lingered in silence, yet his watchful gaze was palpable, hovering just behind me, his breath a soft warmth against my shoulder, igniting an unexpected shiver that danced along my spine. Let us explore this connection. The initial murmurs soft and enticing, his fingers grazing the strap of my gown, playfully teasing the fabric, as our eyes intertwined in a fervent dance. As the layers gently slipped away, the fabric cascaded with a seductive elegance, unveiling the mysteries concealed beneath. Fingers glided, exploring, relishing, and treasuring as the cool breeze brushed against my skin. I extended my hand and pivoted my fingers, brushing against the taut curves hidden beneath their fabric, my caress yearning to gauge their response. Their gaze held me captive, a lingering intensity, biding time for the perfect opportunity to unfold. A soft, lingering breath slipped from my mouth. In a fleeting moment, I yearned to fulfill their deepest desires, that had been simmering with such intensity. With a gentle, measured caress, I explored the complex closures of their attire, loosening each one with a careful cadence, sensing the unspoken tension concealed within the barriers that divided us. As I drew near, the air thickened with unspoken desires, our forms entwined in a delicate dance, the heat of my gentle touch igniting a simmering tension. A soft murmur escaped the first man's lips, a profound appreciation shining through as he tilted my chin, his gaze intertwining with mine in a way that was both enigmatic and enthralling. In that moment, he murmured softly, his voice a velvety touch laced with an alluring air of enigma. A familiar warmth coursed through me, a sensation both thrilling and perilous as their gaze captured mine. With knees bent and movements deliberate, I descended, my fingers lingering around them both, warmth enveloping my skin in a tender embrace. One lingered close to my lips, a quiet beckoning poised for my choice. I leaned in, enveloped by the warmth, relishing the desire, and with delicate care I traced his form with the utmost intimacy. Above me he breathed in slowly, his fingers gliding through my hair, leading me with a tender caress. The second man haunted my mind. My other hand surrendered to him with equal fervor, coaxing out each response with a tantalizing touch. His breath-caught fingers gliding gently along the tender line of my jaw, his eyes locked onto mine, entranced by each ephemeral moment. Their entwined presence, the hushed exchanges, the palpable tension that lingered in the air wrapped around me, kindling a gradual intense warmth deep inside. Behold, one of them murmured, his voice thick with a languid pleasure, steeped in a dark allure. As if ensnared by an enchanting spell, the murmurs kindled a fervor that coursed through my very being. They grant me the freedom to wander, beckoning me to lose myself in their enchanting presence, drawing me deeper into their seductive embrace. Then one among them hesitated, drawing back slightly, as if to gather his scattered thoughts and steady himself once again. He drew her near his voice, a soft murmur filled with a quiet intensity. Our tantalizing adventure has merely begun. I reclined on the bed, heart racing, every nerve alive with a tantalizing tension. He loomed over me, a magnetic force, as his fingers traced languid paths along my inner thighs, each touch a seductive promise that heightened the charged atmosphere enveloping us. Another drew near his fingers, softly cradling my chin, tilting my face to his gaze ensnaring mine with a silent electric charge. "Come, let us explore the shadows of your enchantment," murmured the first, his voice a rich harmony, tinged with playful intrigue. As he drew near, his breath lingered like a gentle caress on my skin, igniting a tremor that coursed through every fiber of my being. A breath held tight as his lips roamed my skin, his touch intentional, languid, and steeped in meaning. My fingers entwined with the delicate fabric, holding on as every subtle shift ignited a wave of ecstasy that coursed through me. The second gentleman drew closer, his breath warm against my skin as our lips barely touched, igniting a slow, simmering connection that deepened with each passing moment. I drew him close, surrendering to the warmth that enveloped us, stifling the gentle sighs that escaped my lips. As desire unfurled in the space we shared, with a seductive cadence, they drew near one whose kiss unraveled the core of my soul, while the other enveloped me in a heady embrace, his fingers weaving through my hair, pulling me ever closer. "She is a marvel," breathed one, his tone thick with longing. Though I ought to have felt a tremor of unease, a momentary pause, I stood resolute. A desire flickered inside me, laid bare for all to observe. With a subtle grace, they led me, shaping my essence, as if they held the knowledge of my most hidden desires. Gaze upon this. On my hands and knees, I unearthed my essence, my body quaking, awakened by the soft echoes of their delicate caress. The second man, previously a mere observer, now approached with a measured elegance, his hands clasping my waist, anchoring me in this moment. "Are you prepared to explore deeper, seductive delights?" He murmured, his voice heavy with hidden truths. In a fleeting moment before words could escape my lips, he drew near with a deliberate fervor that sparked an all-consuming warmth inside me, shimmering like a gentle ember. My breath-faltered fingers entwined in the fabric, with a fervor as my body surrendered to the heat of his presence. He released a quiet sigh, his hands gripping me firmly, his motions deliberate and unhurried, as though he savored each fleeting moment. The refined man approached his touch, lingering on my jaw, urging my eyes to rise and meet his. "Let me uncover the depths of your essence," he breathed softly. I opened my mouth, inviting him in the warmth of his presence, surrounding me, our breaths intertwining in a delicate dance. In that tender moment, he drew nearer, his voice, a soft whisper, as his thumb caressed my cheek, while his fingers wove mischievously through my hair. They moved together in a heated embrace, each a delicate protector of my soul. Their movements blending seamlessly, one anchoring my form with steadfast grace, while the other captivated my gaze, pulling my focus irresistibly toward him. A soft breath slipped from my mouth, igniting a tremor in the man standing before me, his inhalations growing shallow as his fingertips glided over my flesh. Behind me, the second man shifted his movements, weaving a spell that left me breathless, a slow burn igniting deep within, stirring a mix of desire and unspoken tension. "Do you not cherish this, my beloved one among them?" murmured his voice, laced with playful intrigue and a subtle awareness of unspoken truths. A delicate sigh escaped me, my form betraying hidden truths, with each subtle shift, each breath that danced from my mouth. Indeed, I did. Each furtive look sparked a flame inside a thrill that murmured truths meant solely for us. Their last choice hung between them, a silent tension that was both alluring and fraught with unacknowledged complexities. Once more they swayed me with a subtle grace, directing my form precisely to their desired destination. Gaze upon this. In the dim light, I stood before him, his hands anchoring me, our gazes entwined in a magnetic dance, a subtle thrill flickering across his mouth. "Pray let me explore the shadows of your longing," he murmured, his hold firm yet gentle, anchoring my trembling form. A soft, lingering breath slipped from my lips. As I drew nearer to him, a deep warmth igniting within the gentle tug, sending shivers racing down my spine. His head sank into the luxurious pillows, a low murmur escaping his lips as I drew near the air, thick with unspoken tension. Yet look. The second man, cloaked in shadows, harbored intentions that quietly brewed in the depths of his mind. His soft caress brushed against my skin, a tantalizing invitation, a delicate journey, his fingers tracing the subtle arch of my back, anticipating my response. A soft sigh slipped from my mouth, as tension wound itself within me, intertwining with a momentary hesitation and an intense, irresistible desire. He drew nearer, his warm breath, igniting a thrill that danced along my spine as it caressed my ear. "Stay just a heartbeat more," he breathed with a soft insistence. "I will lead you through this tantalizing path." I exhaled softly, feeling my body tense and shift, gradually surrendering as he drew nearer. The tension between us simmered, moments lingering as our forms melded in a delicate dance. Truly, that encompasses all. Behold, one of them did sigh, in a most captivating manner. Soft murmurs danced around me, leaving my senses in a haze of uncertainty. In a tender reverie, I became enveloped in the delicate dance of our souls, savoring the gentle caress of flesh, the quiet breaths shared, and the alluring rhythm of our forms entwined in harmonious connection. In a delicate embrace, one hand held my hips with a confident touch, while the other drew near with an enticing proximity, their motions artful and intentional. The weight of unspoken desires enveloped me, each heartbeat echoing in the stillness, my breath hitching, as the tension coiled around my very being. "Thou art truly enchanting," a soft murmur of admiration slipping from his lips, infused with a palpable intensity that electrifies the atmosphere. "Look at her," the other murmured softly. his fingers gliding down my spine, sparking a tremor that ensnared me entirely in its embrace. I most definitely was. The weight of unspoken desires became too much for my heart to bear. The fire inside me surged an overwhelming force that stripped away my defenses, a gentle warmth cascading through my core in intoxicating waves. In that moment, a breath hung heavy between us, his fingers gliding over my skin, his body tensing as his pace slowed, a low sound escaping his lips, his grip tightening around me as he surrendered moments later. The moment lingered thick with unspoken words before it melted into a warm, seductive embrace. The air was thick with unspoken words as the gentle cadence of our breaths punctuated the quietude. In the hushed stillness that followed, a delicate awareness started to unfurl. Never did I foresee such exquisite delight, nor did I anticipate an insatiable yearning for deeper discovery. Yet existence, in its unyielding and harsh manner, has stripped away all my fantasies, compelling a revelation I never desired yet could no longer evade. It transcended the notions of right and wrong, becoming a bold exploration of the tangled, often conflicting truths that dwell within, particularly when one is driven to the brink of their own boundaries. This journey was not one I chose yet. It morphed into something uniquely mine, revealing a strength and depth I had never known resided within me.